This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome to IgAN Journey, the IgA Nephropathy Foundation's podcast. Here, we share information, tips, stories, and inspiration for living with IgAN. Using the power of our growing patient community, we are focused on funding research and building a network of support and ultimately finding a cure. To learn more about IgAN, to get involved, or help fuel our mission with financial support, visit IgAN.org. Today, we are very excited to be joined by Yulanda and Steve Mayo, who have become an invaluable part of our IgAN family. And if you know them, you know they are compassionate, inspiring, and humble human beings, always willing to lend a hand. They are also a great example of a couple who has struggled together to find answers and support along their collective IgAN journey, coping with the ups and downs of the disease and how to navigate the shifting and evolving roles and needs of both a patient and a care partner. They also share that in finding the foundation and meeting so many others affected by IgA nephropathy, they've found their voice and drive to make a difference. Thank you both for being with us and sharing your wisdom, especially as it relates to care partners.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having us.
So I know it's been a long time since Yulanda found out she had IgA nephropathy, and so much has happened since. And you both have been incredibly resilient through it all, though I know it's not always been easy. Can you share a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I can. My journey began with misdiagnosis, actually. I had back pain that wouldn't go away, so I made an appointment with the doctor. I was diagnosed with back problems, given NSAIDs, and an order for back traction. 4 months later, which happened to be Christmas Day, I developed a weird rash that just went all down my legs. And about a week later, the discoloration of the urine and the stomach pain, which I thought I had a stomach flu. So after that bout, and ultimately getting transferred over to see a nephrologist, that's when they suspected that I had IgA nephropathy.
Do I remember, did you have signals of something that wasn't quite right with your kidneys when you were really young?
I did. When I was 5 years old, I actually was hospitalized. I had my 6th birthday in the hospital.
No.
It was probably 6 years before Berger's disease was ever found.
Oh.
So yes, I did have a bout with kidney problems as a child.
And about when you talk about noticing symptoms and going to the doctor years later, about how much longer was that?
Oh, I would say it's probably, I'm going to guess 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Before it came out again. And I had already had all 3 of my children. So yeah, it was about 30 years when I got the back pain that now I know was flank pain that I was having from both sides with my kidneys.
So, I mean, you two have been married together for a long time. What was going through both of your minds when you found out that you had what's called IgA nephropathy, which we know is very hard to say to begin with? And for a long while, there really was no information available. What was going through each of your minds, Steve, as her care partner, and and husband, and Yulanda, for you too.
Well, in 1993, with her symptoms coming up with the urine discoloration and the flank pain, we pretty much started off with what I would think would be how you start your life. We had a house, we had the white picket fence, we had new children. We'd only been married, 8 years, and we were going right along life's path like you're supposed to go to. And then suddenly someone tells you, and you're completely blindsided when somebody tells you that you have an incurable disease.
Yeah.
That just knocks you flat on your butt. And then when you're told that it's not you, it's the person that you care for the most in the world, that's really, really a double whammy. And then I had a little bit of added stuff. I had just started my career in law enforcement, so I'm already hardwired to take care and make better. And now you're handling me something that I can't take care of and make better.
Yulanda, what about you? You had three little kids at the time, yeah?
Yeah, for me, it was confusion and fear. I had too many responsibilities to be sick. 30 years ago, all they gave you was blood pressure meds and steroids. Mm. There's very little information out there about IgA nephropathy, and I agree with you. It was, how do you pronounce that? It probably took me years to build up the courage to even tell somebody that I had it. I just wanted to be normal. So I kept the diagnosis to myself for the most part, and I just pushed through because that's what we all want. We just want to be normal.
Yeah. What other choice did you have, right? As a mom of 3 kids and a growing family. What advice would you give to your younger selves today, knowing what you now know about IgA nephropathy? Is there anything that, if you went back to those early days where there was so much uncertainty, so much fear, not knowing kind of what the road ahead was going to look like, what advice would you give to one another now?
Because this illness is so well masked, because it's not in your face, because it only gives glimpses of itself to the closest of family members, then it's really a difficult one. It's not dinner conversation. It's not you call somebody on the phone and say, "How was your day?" Not too good. You know what? I threw up twice. I've really got some really bad shivers, and I just feel I have headaches and body aches, and I don't know if it's COVID or not. I just know that I'm not. Those aren't the conversations that not only that you don't jump out and have with people, but you find out that people aren't too willing to engage you with those conversations, meaning, why am I going to call so-and-so? Because all they're going to do is tell me how bad they're feeling. So what I've learned is that each patient and each caregiver on this journey is different. It's like our emblem of the zebra, right?
Yeah.
There's no two that are the same, and that kind of blows me away because you're trying to have a discussion with somebody about something that is different for everybody. So where do you start?
Yeah. Yulanda, what about you?
I would tell my younger self to embrace the foundation, learn about IgAN. There are so many resources now, and you don't have to carry this disease alone. The community itself is what I cherish the most because we have built-in empathy. I can go to either one of the guys that are ambassadors or even now patients that have reached out to me, that I can reach back to them and get on the phone and feel like I had what I needed at that moment. That for folks that are not involved in this, it's kind of hard for them to relate. So it's hard to share. But the foundation and the folks that are in the foundation, it's there. It's a community that I'm so happy to have found.
Oh, well, we are so unbelievably grateful to have both of you involved in the foundation. And I think that's something we've heard from other people too, as we share. Many people have never met anybody else with this disease until they come to Spark. And then there are as Steve, as you just said, everybody's different too, but it's really become a lifeline for so many people. And not just patients, but also caregivers and care partners, who we know play a vital role. Steve, in your role as a care partner, what are some of the main challenges you face that others might relate to?
When I think of a challenge, I think of something that I need to overcome, but there's a path. There's something that I can use to overcome the challenge.
Yeah.
As a caregiver, it's different because the exact challenges are not exactly affecting me. And I say that to say, being my wife's caregiver, a challenge may be going out for the evening and making sure that she has everything needed for that evening out, making sure she has a blanket, making sure she might have hand warmers, making sure that she has things that are needed to make her feel comfortable. That's a challenge, but I'm not the one that has to I'm not the one that has to do that. Am I making sense thus far?
You are, and I know you have played such an instrumental role, right, in Yulanda's journey with this. And I know you never want to you've talked about not ever upstaging her, right? Because she's the one who's living and breathing this. And I think that for so many caregivers and care partners, they feel like they don't have the automatic fix. And I think oftentimes caregivers and care partners don't understand the incredible role that they do play. So I think that's what you're getting at.
Thank you for that, Amanda. That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's like, how dare you voice any complaint when the person sitting next to you, they're going through hell. So things that I would tell new caregivers is to tune into the person that you're caring for. Keep in mind that your journey as a caregiver will be different from all other caregivers because the person that they're caring for is different. So I'm still learning that. I'm still embracing that. Yulanda really taught me how to start to embrace the caregiver position. I kind of took it on as just already existing. That's who I am. That's what I do. That's how I handle stuff. But there's really much more to embracing the caregiver role. You learn the difference between sympathy and empathy. You realize that you need to, she brings up to me, sometimes I'll say, not verbally, but okay, let's go climb the mountain, let's go swim the ocean, let's go cross the valley, let's go do all these things because you look like you're feeling good, when in reality, what she really needs is just to hold my hand and talk. Or maybe we'll take a walk around the block, or just try to keep things at her level, even though my level may be, base jumping. Hers may be just, like I said, a walk around the park.
Yeah. Well, and I think many caregivers and care partners will relate to what you just said, because you are sort of thrust into this role, right? It's not something that's expected. And as you said earlier, you were in the middle of building your life together, and this sort of interrupted that. And it was having to reset expectations. And I imagine sort of at different points in your journey, even your dynamics and responsibilities have had to shift and evolve as well.
Yep. You know what? And we've managed that because I think even before we were diagnosed, we've always had the feeling that there is absolutely nothing on this earth more important than the two of us being together. Not family, not friends, not bills, not world crisis, not her disease. There's nothing more important than the two of us. So because we have that solid foundation, then I think that gets us through a lot of ups and downs.
Well, I mean, I've had the pleasure of being around both of you many times now, and the love, commitment, and respect that you have for one another is truly palpable. I mean, you can feel it. And you just said how important it is to tune into and kind of stay in sync with the person that you're helping to get through this. But it's not always easy. How have the two of you been able to stay connected?
That's actually a good question. We have our ups and downs like every couple out there. And I think when the foundation is strong, that's what keeps bringing you back to center with each other. And it's like Steve just said, there's no one else more important out there than the both of us. So we've gone through all of it, this journey, all of it together. And sometimes that's overwhelming too, because it's definitely been a journey. And he's always been my rock that was sitting right by my side. And if I needed him at a doctor's appointment, he was the guy that came there and carried the notes out and fed them back to me when I had already pulled the curtain down what the doctor was communicating with me. So I think the biggest thing is when the foundation is strong, you're able to come back to center with each other.
I also think, Steve, you talked about this a little bit. It's such a learning curve. And I think even when caregivers, care partners don't know what to do, just showing up and just being there, it means so much.
Absolutely. I mean, learning curves. Nephropathy is still not quite rolling off my tongue like I would like it to. And I've been dealing with that word for over 30 years. So you would think it would be, it's easy to say Merry Christmas, but it's not that easy. Learning what we've learned from the foundation, one of the members was telling me that when her and her wife wound up doing dialysis, they would treat it as a date night. So I took that and I embraced that. And when Yulanda was going through peritoneal dialysis, keeping in mind she also did hemodialysis, but when she was doing the hemodialysis, we would pack some games, some cards, and we would go to the dialysis center. And while she was sitting there for 3 hours next to a machine, keeping in mind that this is all totally foreign to us, but sitting next to a machine that was taking all of the blood out of her body, running through its system, and then putting the blood back in her body, we were able to manage that. And it actually, I think, it actually might have brought us closer together, because now you're talking about people that have been together for a whole lot of years, actually finding 3 hours to sit down next to each other and just discuss the day's events. I mean, who does that anymore, right?
Right. Yeah. Sadly, the way the world works today, you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 nights of a family together meal.
Exactly. We got that from putting ourselves out there, from meeting our community. Like I was telling you the other day, there's no caregiver meeting or patient meeting that we listen to every month that I don't learn something from somebody. There's just, a comment from anybody, and you're able to recognize and just get a deep understanding that, hey, there's somebody that's going through and feeling like I am.
I think that what I hear from you both is that it really is a process, and you have to keep communication open through the ups and downs. What advice would you give to other couples facing IgA nephropathy so they don't get consumed by it or kind of get lost in the middle of it?
I would advise couples that are on this same journey to educate yourselves, to link up with the community, like the foundation's various support groups, and talk about your fears and your hope for the future. Communication, that is absolutely key. But at the same time, to live your life, life doesn't stop with the diagnosis of IgA nephropathy. Share your story. Share it. Share your story of love, because that will always ground you, will help you hang on to the simple times when it was easy to be free with yourself and your feelings with each other. I told my daughter just the other day, who just got engaged, that what they need to remember on this journey is they need to take a bottle, what they captured together, and every time they need it, take a little bit out, and that'll help fill their soul. But hang on to the reasons why you guys came together, what brought you together, and what kept you together. And go back to the simple. And the simple is your love.
That's beautiful advice, because we know marriage is hard as it is. And then you layer on a chronic disease, and you layer on a chronic disease for which at the moment we're hoping we're going to change this, but there isn't a cure. And I think that's beautiful advice.
You have to find ways to rekindle your relationship since you got hit with a curveball. You need to go, and communication is a must. Communication is a strong must. But what I've also learned is, on top of communication is understanding, because you can communicate as much as you want with somebody, but if they're not getting it, then your words ring hollow. We've learned to also learn that you may not get the support and help that you thought would be an automatic. We are extremely fortunate with our family and friends who have stepped forward on our journey to offer help and support. We've been truly blessed. But we've also talked with others who are out there by themselves, who can't even get an Uber to a hospital visit. And it's really, really sad. So you must embrace the community. You must talk to others, and you must learn that the saying that you are not alone is extremely, extremely true. You are not alone, but you have to lean forward, and you have to embrace what's out there. You got to go out there. You have to go out there, look for it. And when you're in the doctor's office and the patient is not understanding what the doctor is saying, then you have to be the one to say, "Excuse me, can you repeat that? And I don't quite understand what you're saying. Can you break it down to me at an 8th grade level?" Yeah. And if push comes to shove, if that's not the right doctor for you, then guess what? You tell that doctor, "It's been nice dealing with you. Have a nice day. I'm going to look elsewhere." Find your community. Find your community.
Yeah, and that's so important, because your nephrology care team is part of that village, and you are the center of any care. And it's so important to find that person who you trust and who you feel like you can share not just the physical pieces of the disease, of the numbers on the labs, but also how this is affecting your day-to-day and your dreams and hopes for the future too.
Yep.
So we know caregiver stress, care partner stress, and burnout is a big deal. There's a lot of research now to show that caring for somebody who has a chronic disease can definitely take its toll on the caregiver, the care partner as well. What are some ways, Steve, that you kind of reset and fill your bucket?
Oh, you know what? You would think that I have this dialed into a automatic, and it's just not the case, because as we've spoken on, the journey is long and the journey is different for everybody. I've learned what helps me is to put on my headphones and take a walk. Sounds simple, sounds kind of even a little bit mundane, but you know what? It enables me to tune out everything that's going on. It's my form of escapism. That helps. I've also been known to get in my car and take a drive. Where we are here in California, the ocean's not too far from me and the mountains aren't too far from me, so I can easily take a cruise that way, and that seems to help. That does seem to help. Only difficulty I have with that, and like I said, you're going to find your outlet. It's going to be different for everybody, because in my case, it's hard for me to do those things without knowing that Yolanda's okay. So I'm not able to go to Vegas for 4 days or take a week-long fishing trip or any of those other things, because my place is here. But if that's what works for you and that helps you reset, then by all means, go for it.
Yeah, and you might be onto something, because there's studies too that show being outside in nature just for like 20 minutes every day does everyone some good.
You're absolutely right. I love, that's what I forgot to mention, because it's something that we do together. But yeah, I love the outdoors. I love nature. I love camping. I love being up in the mountains. Yeah, that is my go-to place.
So I know it's really difficult to explain what it's like to watch the person you love face an uncertain path forward, and what the role of being Yolanda's care partner would really look like. And on the caregiver panel this year at Spark, you read something that had many of us welling with tears. Can you share a little bit about what that experience was like, and maybe read an excerpt of what you wrote that night?
Sure. I'd love to. It's amazing that the person that is going through the hardest part of this journey is probably my biggest teacher. She's the one that inspires. She's the one that teaches. She's the one that provides a lot of the resources for our journey. So it's amazing that she's doing 99% of the hard work, and I'm just a backup. But she has a saying that she tells me that I need to lean forward, that I need to embrace what we're going through, that I need to embrace the disease, even though I'm not the one that's feeling the physical aspects of it. I am witness to it. I am seeing it happen. I'm seeing the toll that it is taking on her, the toll that it's taking on our family, and obviously the toll that it's taking on me. So I was told that that I was being asked to be on a caregiver panel at Spark. And one of the questions that I knew I was going to be asked was, what was I doing as my outlet, what was I doing to help me get through the day as a caregiver? And I was like, okay, well, I can't say that I run marathons, because that's not true. I can't say that I go fishing in the mountains, because I haven't done that in years. I can't say that I do yoga, because it's not true. I had no idea what the answer to that question was. And the night before the panel, I woke up about 3:00 in the morning, and I grabbed a pad and I grabbed some paper and I just started writing. And what I wrote was my experience of what I was going through. And I am by no means a poet. I am no means a writer, but what the foundation has always told us to do is tell your story. Just tell your story. Just tell whoever will listen what you're going through. And chances are you're going to wind up talking to somebody who's going to say, I get it. I understand. And I'm there to help you. So I wrote this story to remind me what my personal journey was as a caregiver, what I was going through. And the story is, I called it, I Was There. And it goes like this. I was there the first time you said, I don't feel good. I was there when your urine turned the color of raw berry juice. I was there when the vomit erupted from your throat like a horror movie, only this was real. I was there when the doctor was unsure of your diagnosis and not sure what to make of it. I was there when we discovered that this was an incurable disease. I was there for the years that followed when we chose not to believe. I was there when your kidneys begin to fail. Stage 2, stage 4, and then stage 5. I was there when you told me you were scared and you didn't want to die. I was there when dialysis became part of our lives and we learned new medical terms. I was there when friends and family learned of our fight. I was there when some joined us and some literally took flight. I was there when the years rolled by and your health continued to decline. I was there trying to keep us strong while our dreams fell far behind. I was there when you found the foundation that gave us the tools to succeed. I was there when they put you on a transplant list and looked for a possible donor. I was there when they took you off the list because cancer had now been discovered. I was there when surgery removed the kidney that had the cancer inside. I was there months later when they said you are now cancer-free and placed you back on the transplant list. I was there when you got the call. You said, babe, they found a kidney for me. I will be there for all of your journeys, you, the kidney, and me.
That is so beautiful. And you are both so incredibly inspiring. And Yulanda, your transformation from when I first met you to now having your transplanted kidney is just remarkable. Yulanda, what was your feelings hearing his words when he read that, I will say, poem?
I called it a poem too, Amanda. What he's not telling you guys is his father used to write poems. So I think that pathway of his father, he's still trying to deny that it's in him as well, because his father had books and books of poems. I felt sitting there listening to him that he had a breakthrough, and I loved him even more at that moment.
You play such a central role, you and so many other caregivers and care partners. And I know you probably are thinking, oh, I don't like this show very much because the focus is on me as a caregiver. But
yeah, if caregivers can, I guess what helped me is that since I'm having a difficult time in finding an outlet, if a caregiver can take strength from remembering a moment of participation in this journey, I think that would help. I think that is maybe something that would help everybody, because we all have, as the caregiver, we all have a moment of helping. So if you can focus and remember on that moment and the strength that you gain from it and the help that the loved one received from you, I think maybe that's maybe a source of strength for anybody, knowing that you made a difference.
yeah, well, and you certainly have been there through all the ups and downs. And as caregivers and care partners, you do need to find ways to take care of yourself so that you can be there for your loved one.
Yeah, absolutely, too. And our journey is so varied, where you have spouses taking care of spouses, you have parents taking care of children, you have siblings taking care of each other. So it's really, there is definitely no one size fits all in the caregiver world.
Yeah, for sure. Shifting gears a bit, obviously, you've both become really part of the fabric of the IgA Nephropathy Foundation. Was there a defining moment or event that really propelled you to become more involved with the foundation? Obviously, both of you have been very active members of our ambassador program. I know just even recently you helped push a rare disease advocacy council in California. What was that sort of defining moment or event that really propelled you to be involved with the foundation and really kind of make a difference to so many?
Yeah, he's pointing to me, Amanda, for me to take it. For me, it was Spark 2022 in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was my defining moment. I stepped so far out of my my comfort zone, and it was the first time I met others with IgAN. and hearing other patients, caregivers, the doctors, pharma, and the foundation leadership speak over that 2 days, it changed me. It did. It made me say, I can do this. I can tell my story. I have to tell my story because I know it's going to help others.
Yeah, stories are powerful. They make people care.
Yeah. And then the things that we have managed to do since becoming ambassadors for the foundation is we got the IgAN Awareness Day in California, which is not an easy process like some of the other states. The Rare Advocacy Council in California was a huge milestone, going up to the Hill to talk to legislators. You know what? To even doing the Global Genes in San Diego, representing the foundation. Amanda, we are so humbled to be able to go and share part of our journey with others with the hopes of making a difference for those in the future.
That was the Global Genes was the big one for me, because for the foundation to ask us to go to that forum as their representatives, okay, first, that was huge. That was like, okay, you want me to do what? With who? Okay, so we're sitting at this table and we've got our literature and our information on our desk, and people are walking by and saying hi to us and being cordial and everything. But then I'm sitting there and I'm watching this obvious hotel worker, and he's pushing a dolly and he's got boxes of stuff he's moving back and forth, and he stops in front of our table. It was like he was frozen in time, and he's staring at the banner that we had in front, IgA Nephropathy Foundation. And he mouths the words to me, I have that. And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and then he points to himself and he goes, I have that. He stops his dolly, he walks over to our table, and he goes, can I get some information because I have IgA nephropathy? And he goes, and my dad died of a kidney disease, and we're not sure it was IgA nephropathy. And my sister, who lives in the Philippines, is coming to California for treatment for IgA nephropathy, and we're trying to find a doctor and find out what kind of medical help we can find. So can I please have some of your information? That was a biggie for me because I've been trying to take care of us all these many years, and to have a complete stranger now asking for help. That's what the foundation is all about. That's really what it is about in a nutshell. People coming forward and asking for help, and you being able to give it to them.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's one life at a time, impacting one life at a time is going to have such incredible benefit to other folks. I remembered this story and I was thinking of you all because I went with Gwen to Voices last week in DC. Mm-hmm. This is a meeting that is dedicated to the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities. So they're pushing for better healthcare. And we set up a table there because we know that it is more prevalent in those communities. And same thing, somebody came over and she said, wait, I have that. And she didn't know that we existed. So making these connections, hopefully earlier in people's journey where they don't feel so alone, because as you both have shared, it can be isolating for sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anything else that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, I just would like to tell other couples out there that's on the journey that we've been on. I can't wait to hear your love story. It's not just the IgAN story. It's your story of love, and it's your story of resilience. And we are ambassadors in California, and you can call us. We're available, and we'd We'd love to hear what kept you together and what keeps you refilling your bottle going through this journey of IgAN.
And I would think, or I would say from the caregiver side, just recognize your role, recognize the extremely important position you play in this, and take care of yourself any way you can. Take care of yourself, because you are the rock that the patient that you are caring for is standing upon. So take care of yourself, and at the same time, take care of them.
Well, I would end by saying that you two have such a beautiful love story, and I know your family is forever admiring of you and your strength. And I thank you for being with us today and for being part of our IgAN family. If you're a parent, brother, sister, partner, neighbor, friend to someone who has IgAN, I encourage you to check out our website, IgAN.org. We have a growing number of resources for caregivers and care partners, and you can also sign up for our monthly caregiver care partner support calls, which Steve helps to moderate. Until next time, be well and know you're not alone. Thank you for joining IgAN Journey, the IgA Nephropathy Foundation's podcast. Here we share information, practical tips, stories, and inspiration for living with IgAN. Everyone's at a different point in their IgAN journey, but we're here for you. You're not alone. To learn more about IgAN, to get involved, or help fuel our mission with financial support, visit www.IgAN.org. The information and opinions shared in IgAN Journey are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice. Always speak with your nephrology care team about treatments that are right for you.